It's time for the Premier League roundup show for game week 35. The end is nearing to this Premier League season, and plenty to discuss on this Sunday evening because plenty has happened this weekend. Welcome back to West Ham on Official. I hope you are all well. Premier League roundup show, normal settings. Firstly, Josh, how are you?
All good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. And Shaun, how are you, mate?
All things considered, mate, I'm not too bad at the moment. I can't grumble.
Good. Right, let's see what we've got in the chat. Lawrence, thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you very much. Hello to everybody else as well. Robert, hope you are well. We'll leave West Ham for a minute because Josh, Newcastle 0, Liverpool 1. Yesterday at lunchtime. People thought this was going to be the banana skin for Liverpool, but they got through it.
Yep, they did. It was unusual that Salah, Trent and Thiago were all on the bench. I had Salah captain in FPL, so I was a bit disappointed in that. But it was navigated about to go in. I know Gary Lineker said it on Match Day. It's a bit of a reality check game for Newcastle really, because they've been doing really well the second half of the season, but that was just a game set. They're not that far yet. They can't compete with teams like Liverpool and that yet. But I know they did have a goal disallowed, but I think it was the right decision. I haven't seen him back too much, but I went to Villa match, so I'd never watched this game. But I think Liverpool, if we all know if City win all their games, Liverpool win all their games, then City win it. But Liverpool just got to keep winning, doing what they're doing, and hope City are going to slip up. But Liverpool definitely don't. I think City showing more signs that they're going to slip up than Liverpool. I just think I can't see Liverpool slipping up. I can't see City either, but I think out of one or two, I'd say I just have a feeling City are going to slip up, because I definitely can't see Liverpool slipping up. But I think Newcastle actually should get top 10 now. They're about 4 points above us. But just a reality check in for them.
Yeah. I think with this title race, it's definitely in Man City's hands now. But I've just got a sneaky feeling that Liverpool are going to come up, especially when we're going to see a Mark Noble masterclass on his last game at home for West Ham on the penultimate day of the season. But people thought this was going to be a banana skin for Liverpool. It wasn't. They got the job done, and so did City. But we'll get onto them a little bit later. A dramatic, massive game at Vicarage Road next, Shaun. Watford 1, Burnley 2. I spelled Watford wrong, but it just completely sums up Watford's season, doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit of a mad one. As you know, I got a good friend who's a Leeds fan. He was texting me, Burnley bottling it. And then in the space of, was it less than 10 minutes? Was it 5-10 minutes they turned it around?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was pretty sharpish. You can't knock Burnley, can you? I was thinking about Burnley the other day. Do you know we've spoken a few times? Was it Dan, the Burnley fan?
Yeah.
Didn't he say, and he reaffirmed it, because last time he spoke was after Dyche got sacked, that he'd rather go down with Dyche. Remember he said that?
Yeah.
Well, I think they're going to stay up now.
It
might be worth. I'm sure you'll speak to them again in the next couple of weeks or a month. Just remind them of that, and then see if he changes his mind. Now they might be staying up. I think I can't remember off the top of my head what they've got, but obviously amazing. Even myself, when it probably still was wrong to sack Dyche in hindsight, but the new team have played, is it 3 wins they've got or 2 wins in a draw? I think they drew your lot, didn't they, the other week with the new managerial team? You can't fault them. And now I know the bottom 4 or 5. It's been like every week we change our mind who's going, but at this stage of the season, what we're 4 or 5 games at the end, it could all come down to momentum. If you're starting to look solid now, if you're starting to build momentum now's when it counts. And I think Burnley have just got that. And I think I'm right in saying that Burnley have got to play Villa twice still.
Yeah.
Josh won't like it. I think Gerrard's Villa can be soft touches a little bit. So you would probably think Burnley look at that and at least take 3 points out of 2 games. And I've been off work with a bad neck and back, and I've had too much time on my hands. So I've sort of looked at the remaining fixtures a little bit more than I normally would. I know Burnley I think they're all square with Leeds, aren't they, on points at the moment, or something, 34 points, is it, something like that. I think Burnley will be safe now. I think they've got that momentum. I think they've got a bit of grit we're used to them having. I'm not really interested in talking about Watford, really, because I'm bored of talking about yo-yo teams. But I feel for Watford fans because their owners are clowns. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Their owners are just a joke of football. They're the sort of owners, if they this fit and proper test they've got to do for new owners, you'd like to think they're the sort of owners that wouldn't be allowed in the game. They don't know anything about football. They haven't got a clue. But Burnley, yeah, I think Burnley stay up. I'm sure we'll move on to the other threatened sides in a minute. But looking at their fixture, I think they'll take points. They got to play Tottenham. They got a good record against us. It won't be the first time they've took points over Tottenham. Villa twice. I think they'll be safe. I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree, and we've that's what we always say. Burnley find a way out of it, and it looks like somehow they have. Again, that's football. But Josh, you were at this game then. Villa finally picked up some points against you were the side. Steven Gerrard and his Aston Villa side relegated Norwich.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say Dean Smith got a very good reception when he could his first game back at Villa, obviously, and definitely respect that. If it weren't for him, we'd probably still be mid-table championship team now. So yeah, I understand that. But yeah, the game, I don't think we played brilliantly, but it's just that they're terrible, to be honest. I think if they weren't that bad, I don't think we would have won the games. A few times we give the ball away, but they just give us it back. So I think that's why they're going down, really. But like I said, it weren't the best of performances for us. On it. Second half, we were a bit better. Coutinho played a bit better second half as well. But players like Leon Bailey in the first half just not tracking back. He went off injured. I don't think he's going to play for Villa again. Doesn't fit into Gerrard's system. The fans were on his back booing him when he went off. It's just don't think he's going to.
Is Leon Bailey on? Is he on loan or is he a?
No, he's signed him last summer, but I just think he should be in for the rest of the season now. And it looks like we're going to sell him because just. He hasn't done really, and he doesn't track back, and he's a winger in general, doesn't really play wingers with this system. It's like attacking with two attacking midfielders, really. So, yeah, he's not doesn't fit into our system. I think the crowd were on his back. His confidence is zero. I think he's injured now, so that should be the last time we see him in a Villa shirt, I think. And then, yeah, just first off, weren't too great. We got the goal, obviously, Ollie Watkins. It was the reflection, but we'll take it. And then second half, we did come out a bit brighter. I think Norwich were also a little bit better second half. Still not great, but they threatened us a bit more. We had a bag full of chances second half, to be fair, but we just couldn't take them. Danny Ings come on for Bailey. He did really well, obviously got the goal at the end. But it could have been about 5 or 6 second half, to be fair. Just couldn't take our chances. And I said at one point, they're going to score here because we're not taking the chances. But yeah, eventually, last minute, Ings sealed it just about. And yeah, we just need 3 points. First time we've won in about 6 weeks, I think. So we really needed that win. And I think it basically secures safety now for us, 40 points. So I think we just need, the quicker the season ends, the better for us now, because just need to get to the summer. Gerrard needs to get his own players in and see what we can do next season. It'd be nice if we can get a top 10 finish and try and match what we got last season. I think we come 11th last season, so it'd be nice if we can get above that, but don't know. We have Burnley away next. If we can get a point of Burnley and then maybe beat them at home and beat Palace at home, because I have Palace after that, I think we've still got a chance, but I don't know. But yeah, we just needed the win to secure safety, and we did. So
yeah,
good win.
Just to touch on Leon Bailey, it's surprising because I can remember when we were on our way up to play you at Villa Park, and I spotted him out and thought he's got some pace, he's going to do well in the Premier League. But maybe it's just like a player that's been noticed as he's done it in another league, but just can't do it in the Premier League. And he was rubbish against us, and by the sounds of it, he's been rubbish pretty much for for the whole season. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll tell you what one question I do want to ask you, Josh, is that if you finish below what you finished last year, where do you think that leaves Gerard?
I don't know. It's been hard this season because he plays a completely different way to Smith. And some Villa fans are saying it can work in the Scottish League with Rangers, but it doesn't work. It can't play like this in the Premier League because basically he plays no wingers. Sometimes what it was to start, he had two up from Ings and Watkins, and then you've got Coutinho and Buendia, and then you've got Ramsey, and then Douglas Luiz and McGinn. So like they go forward as well, so they all go forward. And then you've got Cash and Luca Digne, who are like fullbacks, but the fullbacks play like wingers. That's why he doesn't play actual wingers. So then basically you've just got two at the back, the two centre backs really. Sometimes Douglas Luiz and McGinn get back, but it's just I don't know. It's just not playing wingers in the Premier League. I don't know, but I don't like the formation to be honest. But it has worked for us a few times, but sometimes we are getting exposed because we have that many players going forwards. It's like we only have the two centre backs really because even Cash and Digne, like I said, they play like wingers. That's how he has to. So I don't know, but I think if he doesn't. I think this season, wherever we come, as long as we're safe, which we should be now, it'll be fine. But if, for example, we get to Christmas next season and he's bought his own players in, spent quite a bit of money, and we're not like top 10, then he will be under pressure. But this season, I think, as long as we don't go down, which we shouldn't now, it'll be fine.
Well, there we go. Let's take some of your comments then. James says still buzzing about West Ham despite the pain in the arse. Yeah. Lawrence, hope you are well. Spot on about the owner, Shaun. I tell you what, Burnley have been pulling out lately, and fair play to them. Fair play to them. Josh rocks. I tell you what, that's an issue. Josh rocks. Josh has great knowledge. Christ, you're boosting his ego here. Is it true, Josh, that your granddad still celebrated earlier on?
Yeah, he's very rough. I think Everton fans knew that now 5 points behind, that was probably a must win. And it's weird saying that playing against a team like Chelsea is a must win, but it was for them, and they did it. I watched the game. It was a really good performance. Just a bit like they played against Liverpool, just sort of parked the bus, but when they got the one chance, they took it. And yeah, I hope they stay up, but it would be difficult for them. But I know they have the games in hand, don't they? I think it's Palace at home, and they are all right at home. It's just away that's the problem. But I also know they still have to play Watford away as well, so that's a big game for them. So I think they got a chance. To be honest, I think Leeds is the one who's going to go. I think Burnley will be fine, like Shaun said.
Just to cut in there, we've said it every week. We said a different name. We said for solidly about 3 weeks. We said, "Oh yeah, Burnley going down." Now we're saying last week we said Everton are going down. Now we're saying Leeds are going down. Why don't we just send them all down? Just from 16th down. Let's just send them all down. They're rubbish.
Yeah, no, I thought last week it was too tight to call. I didn't say anything last week, but I think now Leeds, if you look at their fixtures, I can't remember who they've got, but I know my dad told me they've got some hard fixtures coming up next few weeks. I don't know if they've got to play Man United. I don't think they have, but I think it might be Chelsea. So yeah, they've got some tough fixtures coming up. So I think Everton, they have Palace at home, Brentford at home, Watford away, and someone else, can't remember. So I think they're winnable games. So I think
Everton away at Arsenal on the last day. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think it will come down to the last day. I've got to be honest, but I'm not sure.
There's going to be a bit of drama on the last day at both ends of the table. I reckon.
Palace and Brentford. I think they need to win in home games and maybe get a point at least out of Watford away. So it's going to be difficult for them, but I think they need to be the one who does.
We'll have to wait and see. Shaun, Wolves 0, Brighton 3.
Wow. Oh, blimey. I think is that 3 or 4 defeats in a row for Wolves? Yeah. Don't know. I think this year, I know I banged on every single week about how random the mid-table sides are chucking in results. Out of all of those, and I know they're not far away from West Ham, but I think Wolves are probably one of the sides that I forget about the most this year. If you ask me to like certain like games and certain teams, they'll stick in your mind. Do you know what I mean? For like a random game, like Brighton, I enjoy watching them play. With Villa, they've had the Gerrard saga and the Coutinho. Southampton, they've had some shocking. Do you know what I mean? There's teams that results stick in your head. With Wolves, it's just, I'm sure their fans would be happy finishing 8th or 9th, but they just seem like a team that can be very, very dull. I think when they win a game, it's usually 1-0. In all fairness, they don't usually let in this many, do they? I think they haven't conceded more than 2 hardly ever in any game all season. I think I'm right in saying, but don't know. They're a very forgettable outfit. And as for Brighton, obviously they can be very good or very poor, like the rest of the league. Whether these teams, I think I was chatting to someone earlier about the run-in for the team that might go down. A lot of it could depend on who, when they play these mid-table sides, whether they've got managers who are demanding them to go right to the line. Do you know what I mean? Some coaches, I think, when they know they're safe, they've already got one eye on next season. But each club and manager is a little bit different. So when, like Josh was just saying, like teams have got Palace, teams have got Brentford, Brighton. It just depends what these opposition coaches want. Do you know what I mean? Are they going to want 100% from the players? I've spoken to fans like a Brentford, and they're insistent their manager will demand it because obviously there's a bit more money depending on what league position you finish. You might get like an extra 200 or 300 grand from finishing 9th to 10th, and there's some clubs that can mean a lot. But
with Wolves though, the thing is that they were at one stage they were in the European race, weren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, they were. They were. I've got a funny feeling that they beat United, I'm sure, this season. They sort of bumped them up, and I think they're about 3 points off of 4th for about a week. And I don't know that they're a side that he's a coach that doesn't like conceding many goals, and they haven't exactly got a centre forward that can put it away. So any result they're going to get, it's going to be a very hard fought one. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to tear any teams apart. If they win a game, they've earned it, but they've earned it the hard way. So they were up there. The fans, it's strange with football fans because they'll be Wolves. They're not a huge club. They've been up and down a little bit in the last 15 years, but their fans will be over the moon finishing 8th or 9th. They will. But from an outside as well, I'm going to take my snob hat, trying to take the snob hat off. It is still like dull football keeping them there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think sometimes as a football fan, whether you win or lose, sometimes you just want a bit more excitement, don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you what one stat for you with Wolves, where you say about the hard fought win. Throughout the whole of 2022, they've only beaten 3 sides by more than 1 goal.
Yeah, yes, I'm not surprised. I'll give an example for my club. We had a little spell of Jose Mourinho in charge. You can imagine that was like having teeth pulled out. But we did go on some very good runs. And we won like 4 in a row, 5 in a row, boring, awful games. When it's like that, even though you're winning, part of you misses the 1990s roller coaster of Tottenham. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you remember that. A lot of your listeners understand, but there's even now, like Tottenham might go 2-0 up in a game, and you'll see all over Twitter, this is Tottenham, we're never confident. But that goes back from years ago because of the roller coaster. When you get really boring, dull managers coming to football, sometimes it's in a weird way, you miss losing classic games. That makes sense. You miss losing a 4-3. You miss chucking away a 3-1 lead and drawing 3-0 with West Ham. Do you know what I mean? But if you park the bus and win 1-0, you leave the stadium thinking, "Oh, I'd rather have seen a 3-0."
Yeah.
But
to be fair, at the end of the day with Wolves now, I think they'll be disappointed in the way their season's sizzled out, because they were firmly in contention to get some sort of European football, because at one stage they were, it was a bundle. I think it was us, you, and Wolves, and we were like in a pack together for a good few weeks. But hey ho, they've just sizzled out, and it is what it is. Fair play to Brighton though. They've certainly done us a favour, considering
like I
we
said, I
lost
think
today.
just Wolves are just They're just, I would call them the forgettable team. Even though they're up to fifth at some stage, whatever, they're just so forgettable, aren't they? Like, what can you remember from their season? Pick something out? You probably can't. You probably can't even remember the game when West Ham played them. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them teams. But anyway, yeah. But I like Brighton. I have got a soft spot for them and their manager. But I do like the manager.
There we go. Right, moving on. Late drama on the South Coast. Josh as Crystal Palace nick a late goal to pick up all 3 points against Southampton.
Yeah, and I think I did see this on Match of the Day. I think Palace did. I think they deserved it really. I know Southampton scored early. It was Romeo, weren't it? I think it was from Ward-Prowse corner. But since then, they battered them, Palace. I think. I know Fraser Forster had to make a few radio saves. I think he's been in number one goalie for the second half of the season, and he's been making loads of saves. And he did again, but weren't enough. And I don't really know what to say. Like Shaun said, the mid-table teams you can't predict them this season. Southampton are a really funny team. Like 1 week could be beat 9-0 to Man United or Leicester or whatever, and then next week they could be flying. And then they beat West Ham in the FA Cup 2-1 when they made like 9 changes or something ridiculous.
3-1, Josh.
3-1. Yeah, so they're a funny team. I think we'll come above Southampton in the end of the season. Just don't know what you're going to get with them. And as for Palace, another good win for them. It's been a weird season under Vieira. They've been in good form a lot. They've been in bad form a lot. You're just another team really. You don't know what you're going to get with them. But yeah, I think in both teams' quest for top 10, that was a big game. But yeah, I think Palace definitely going to finish above Southampton this season, and good win for them.
Yeah. It's another. I'm going to use one of Shaun's phrases. It's another one of the midfield battles at the end of the season that nobody's really particularly bothered about and nobody really wants to talk about. But the next one where we go up north, Shaun, is wasn't a 4-0. But it was a 4-0. Leeds 0, Manchester City 4. The scoreline reads a battering, but it wasn't really a battering, I thought.
Well, as I said earlier, I've sort of had a bit of time to look into the running. So, and last night after this result, the game, it wasn't a battering, but in a class perspective, it was. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking at the new Leeds manager. He's got them more rigid and organised, which is showing up how poor they are quality-wise. Because if you look at the goal from set piece, you know what I mean? Some of the balls just drop in. They're getting turned in the box too easy. The goals are all really, really poor defended. But he's got some shape to them. They're not going flying through the pitch, leaving massive holes like they were under Dopey that they used to worship. What I did notice was he's got them crunching in and flying in the tackles. He's snapping at their feet. I think the ref didn't have great control of this game, really. Stuart Dallas got stretchered off, didn't he, with a busted up knee.
Yeah.
Although it's silly, I'm going to blame the ref for that because the stat come up, that was his 5th foul of the game. Right? Now, if you've made 5 fouls if you've made 4 fouls in a game, you're guaranteed to be booked. It doesn't matter whether it's 4 soft fouls, you're booked. So that was his 5th tackle. So if he's already booked, he's not making that tackle like that. He's just not. So the ref didn't have very good control of it. A bit pathetic. Leeds. I've looked at the running last night. Well, last night I looked at the running and I said, I was chatting to a few people. I've had a bit of time to study it. I gave it 50-50 between Leeds and Everton to go. I looked at the run-ins. I looked at the points advantage that Leeds had over Everton. I give it 50-50. But one thing I did say was it depends what Everton turns up against Chelsea. Because I think Josh was a little bit harsh when he mentioned about Everton, which I'm sure we'll get onto. I don't really think they parked the bus today as such. I thought they looked organised. I thought they had a lot of passion about Everton. I know we're moving clubs a little bit here. I thought they had a lot of passion. I thought they were organised. I thought they were aggressive. I thought they threatened the Chelsea goal 3 or 4 times. I think Chelsea had a few good shots. Pickford was world class. But Everton looked half decent. Leeds last night, I didn't think they had enough quality. Do you know what I mean? They looked organised. They had the aggression. But when it push come the shove, the quality was low. I think Rafinha's his stats are pretty good this year. But last year, remember last year he got the ball and you thought he's a danger. I don't feel that as much this year when he gets it. Phillips is chucked back in the midfield. He's been out for like 4 months.
Yeah.
I can't remember him doing anything last night. I don't know if he's been thrown in, not quite ready because they need him. His influence, he didn't look ready. So the run-ins, Leeds. So what? Everton now 2 points behind the game in hand. I think they are. Okay, Leeds have got. I'm trying to remember. They got Arsenal in the next game.
Yeah.
They've then got Chelsea, who obviously Chelsea are unpredictable. They're going to finish third, but they're not. They're not a brilliant team, to be honest. You never know what you're going to get with Chelsea. And then the last 2 games, Leeds have got Brighton and Brentford.
Oh.
Now, they're both flying. Brentford, I was talking to Clive earlier. He's the one that said their manager won't let them rest. They will go to the 90th minute in the last game of the season to get as high as they can. Brighton, Potter's got them far more organised with probably better quality than Leeds. So I looked at it and I thought, this is before the Everton game, and I was talking to my mate and I said, out of those 4 games, the most amount of points I can give Leeds is probably 4, and that's being generous. And Everton, I think, seeing their passion, I've watched them a few times this season, and I could have walked through the Everton's midfield. Today, they looked organised, they had passion. Richarlison did go off injured. That could be a tricky one.
They turned up for the big game, though. They needed it. The fans were up for it. The players were up for it.
But I also thought they did it against Liverpool last week. I know they didn't create a lot, but because last week, especially the first half, they had a lot of passion. They were organised. They were working as a team. They were never going to create a lot, but you could see they were a team. And now I thought to myself, is that going to be just the Merseyside derby? Do you know what I mean? They got beaten in the end quite easily. And I thought, will they be disheartened from losing that? But no, they come out today. The crowd were behind them. And I think they got 2 more home games that are both winnable games. I think Leeds will get a maximum of 4, and that might be generous. I think Everton will get more than that. I think Everton could get 2 wins. If Leeds get 4 points and Everton get 6, I think my maths are correct. They'll be level on points, won't they? And Leeds goal difference, that could send them down just on that. Do you know what I mean?
It's gonna be interesting because it'll be interesting to see what sort of Leeds turn up against Arsenal next week and whether Everton can keep up their form. But let's take some of your comments. Corey says Marsh is a terrible manager. Shaun had Leipzig 14th before he got sacked. I think they just tried to get hold of somebody because they wanted to get rid of Bielsa and
they were chasing Marsh. Marsh, he was the chosen replacement for the end of next season, so it wasn't a rushed appointment.
Right.
One that he's been earmarked for a while, and I think he's been out of a job since Christmas. I think he's been studying the Premier League. Problem with Leeds is, don't want to button again. I just don't know if they've got the quality of the player.
No, they haven't. No, not at all. Not at all. You know, if they do go down, they'll lose that Rodrigo, Phillips, Rafinha. Possibly that Meslier in goal might move to like a Fulham or something like that.
But some signings they bought in were internationals, and even those ones look poor. I've forgotten his name, but they've got a centre half who played today, and he was a regular for Germany before he come here. No, he was just looked like a statue last night. And
anyway,
Rodrigo, I think he's already going back to Spain. He's been poor. Firpo, they've got a fullback that makes Emerson Royale look like Roberto Carlos.
I'll tell you what, we were linked with that Firpo, and I was for signing him. He's been absolutely atrocious. But anyway, let's move on to Everton. Everton 1, Chelsea 0. Josh.
Yeah, I did watch this one, and it was a really good performance from Everton. They're not a good footballing team at all, but when you're fighting for your lives, you don't need to be. like Shaun said, they showed passion. They were aggressive. They never completely parked the bus like they did against Liverpool, where they just literally, once they got it back, they used it. They did have a few chances as well. Richarlison caused them problems. Anthony Gordon did. He's been really good this season. Anthony Gordon has had a breakthrough season. And yeah, it's just Rondon come on at the end and done his bit as well. Remember when he sent Rudiger and then slipped on the floor.
Yeah, they should have scored really at the end.
Yeah. But I think it was just the defender really well. Yerry Mina, I think, is a really good defender, but he's just never fit. That's the problem. He's always injured. Holgate, I used to think he was awful. He's improved a bit under Lampard. And then the goalkeeper was just unbelievable. Pickford, when he was, if it weren't for him, they probably would have lost the game. Them double saves. That one where he saved it, went for the corner, and he saved it again with his face. That was ridiculous. But yeah, and then obviously I think every player played a part. Mikalenko, Coleman, none of them were not up for it. Even Fabian Delph, they all wanted to win and fighting for a badge, and that's the difference with, I think, with it. When you've got a team who wants to win games, who wants to fight, then you've got a good chance of staying up. And I think at home they're very hard to beat. So I think Leeds need to watch the backs, I think. But just the problem with Everton is the shocking away. I think they've got something like 6 away points all season. I'm sure it's 1 win, because I know they've definitely had a few draws, so it must be 1 win. So that's just an awful record. And if it was based on just home records, they would have been about 10th. But it's because of how bad they are away. And that's why I don't think they'll beat Watford. I think they're probably going to get a point, and that's why they need to beat Crystal Palace at home and Brentford at home. They're the 2 last home games. And Arsenal away last day. I'm not sure. But I can see them getting more points than Leeds. But yeah, it was a really good performance and they deserved it. It was much needed.
They certainly did. Let's take some of your comments. Leeds or Everton to go down. Leeds got more about them, though, I reckon 50-50. Grandad, here we go. I told you it's in our own hand. You're all forecasting Everton defeat today. What an atmosphere today. We live to fight another day. Yeah, superb. And I'll tell you what, I really dislike Liverpool, and they harp on about their atmosphere. But I said that atmosphere inside Goodison Park today sounded incredible. You know, them Everton fans were behind them players from when that bus pulled into the car park to the final whistle in that game. They were superb, and as Fat Frank said at the end, he said they were their man of the match today. He says, what is it with all you supporting Burnley? A, it's because we don't like Fat Frank, to be fair, and B, it's because, you know what, I've got a Dan that comes on. I like Dan. He's a Burnley fan. I've got a lot of respect for him, and I feel for him after losing Sean Dyche. You know, for them, it's like their, you know, cat or dog or whatever, just walking away and never coming back. You know, I feel for him, and yeah, we just don't like Frank Lampard, to be fair. But hey ho, much needed win today. Come on, you Blues! There we go. I think that's your mum, Josh, getting involved there.
Be on my phone.
On your phone. Great saves from Pickford. I tell you what, I saw a clip of that double save. Ramsdale has been edging and trying to overtake Pickford, I reckon, for the England number 1, but he's proved it today. Pickford was world class.
Very good.
World class. Antonio Zariola says, because of the amount of money Everton have spent compared to Burnley, it's ridiculous. Every team needs to go down and get a taste of what it's like. Don't like Everton or Leeds. Just so glad we ain't in it. We play Leicester next Saturday away. That should be a good game. I hope we can get something out of that match, but it's still in our own hands. Well said, Shaun, about how Everton played. Yeah, Everton are terrible. Yeah, there we go. And Josh is saying, well said, Josh. Oh dear. Right then, let's move on to the first game in this top 4 European race. Then come on then, Shaun. Tottenham 3, Leicester 1.
Well, I was watching 2 games at the same time, to be honest. I've got a special contract with Sky, so I can watch all the other games that aren't broadcast. So I had this one on the phone, and I had the Everton game on the telly. It was an okay game. We haven't been in great form. Leicester made 8 changes, I think, because they're in that Europa conference thingy. Yeah.
Oh, here he goes, Europa Conference thingy.
Well, that's something else. That's something else that's forgettable. Let's be honest. You don't even
Just because you were booted out, Shaun.
I expect you've noticed since Tottenham aren't in it, you won't even read anything about the competition anymore. No, did they even mention Leicester in it on Sky? I don't know, but anyway, Leicester had a few chances. We often give teams chances. I think they hit the post. Then Kane, Son corner, Kane header, goal. Sort of, they rested Kulusevski, who's our whole front line's been quiet for the last 2 games, but they chose to rest him. It's easy to forget that he's only just turned 22, so he's only a kid, really. He's a bit of a unit, but he's only 22. Brought in Mora, who was terrible for about an hour, did nothing at all. Brought in Kulusevski, and he was flying. He just bullied him a little bit. I think he come on, assisted Son, both assists. I think the first one was a nice pass, but it's both assists. Son, nice finish for the first, a bit of a worldly left-footed curler for the second. I think I said last week, Arsenal are obviously favourites to the 4th spot now. Obviously, they went and got the result afterwards. Arsenal are definitely favourites. I think Tottenham were favourites about 3 weeks ago, but they shot themselves in the foot, losing to Brighton and then drawing with Brentford. That sort of I think they were the form team in the league up to that, and then just caved in over a week. So yeah, so that obviously Arsenal favourites. They're 2 points ahead of us. This is the tricky thing. They're 2 points ahead of us. The next game each is they've got Leeds. I don't know if it's home or away. I'm not sure. They've got Leeds. We've got Liverpool. Okay. So if results go how you might think, they go 5 points ahead of us. Then the next game for both teams after that is playing each other. So they can still top 4 at our place. Put it that way. Okay.
I tell you what, though, Shaun, you said it, and I thought about it today when they were showing the promo ahead of it, and you said about 2 months ago, Sky are not going to announce when the date is because they're hoping it's going to be the top 4 decider, and you said it will never be, and it's ended up going to be the top 4 decider.
It could be, but then again, I think it has the results recently hasn't changed a lot. I think when they knew that game was going to be that late in the season, I thought Tottenham fans would say to you, right, it's a must-win. Arsenal fans would be saying it's a must-win then. It's a must-win at that stage of the season. So if we go into that game with the expected 5 points behind, if they win, we can't catch them. Okay? If we beat them, then it'll take the lead probably back to 2. So where it is now with 2 games to go. That's if we beat them. So I'm going to view it now if we beat them, because they've won 3 in a row against 3 big sides. I don't think they played brilliant in any of them. It's almost, you can imagine what crybaby fans are. They always care about the opposition doing too much. It's almost like Arsenal have got this tough 3 games in a row, but it's fell in their lap when they've played them. Do you know what I mean? Like United, they've given up, right? They are pathetic. Chelsea almost down tools at home and rested half a squad. And then you got you're right. No, you went quite strong today, but you got a bit. It's in the middle of your biggest game in 50 years. Do you know what I mean? So it's fallen in their lap a bit. We've shot ourselves in the foot. But if we go with the last 2 games to go, 2 points behind, I think they have got. They're away to Newcastle, home to Everton last 2. Now I've got a little hunch they won't get 6 points out of that. So, as I said earlier about the relegation dogfight, it's all about hitting momentum at the right time. We hit it about a month ago, ballsed it up, okay? Arsenal, whether it's through a lot of good fortune or whatever, have managed to get 3 wins in a row. They got Leeds. Leeds need that. I think they'll beat Leeds, but bloody hell, that's a huge game for Leeds. That's a bigger game for Leeds at the weekend than it is for Arsenal. That's huge.
It's a massive game.
So, but Liverpool beating everyone. Okay, we're capable of getting a point at Anfield. I'm not expecting anything at all. Okay, so I'm thinking in my head we'll probably go to the North London derby 5 points behind. We have got to win. If we go there and beat them, then we finish. So then that means we'll win 3 games in a row. I got a little hunch they'll drop some more points, but Arsenal in the driving seat.
Let's let's take this comment because it's quite interesting. Whoever gets top 4 between Arsenal and Tottenham will get battered in the Champions League next season. Both terrible in Europe. I agree.
I don't agree because I think the Champions League's pretty rubbish this year. I don't know whether it's COVID or what it is, but West Ham in the Europa League, you use an example. I think for whatever reason, the quality across Europe is not up there at the moment. I think Man City and Liverpool, I think they're miles clear of everyone else in the Champions League. Miles. Real Madrid have had a few little comebacks here and there, but I think you'll find Chelsea won it last year. I think that was not even a brilliant Chelsea team that won the Champions League. I just think you got to remember we're in a period in Europe where Barcelona are probably the worst they've been in a very long time. Bayern Munich have been in a bit of transition. Whoever gets that fourth will get out of the group at least.
They will get out of the group, but I don't think they're going to get much further than that because if Arsenal or Spurs come up against whoever it is, if they get a Real Madrid in the last 16, they're gone.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't. Yeah, they're not. Tottenham and Arsenal now aren't brilliant teams, but I don't think the rest of Europe are at the moment either.
No.
I think like the likes of Benfica they played the other week as well. Stilka, they're not great teams. Like they've seen a few stuffings. I think Europe probably due to COVID and finances. Like they've changed the rule in Spain, so you got almost got like a wage cap. I think European football outside don't forget it's mainly this Super League that was to rescue all these big clubs who were panicking. Don't forget. Do you know what I mean? The likes of Barca and Juve, they still want it because these once superpowers are on their ass a little bit. Do you know what I mean? So anyway. I get the point that Arsenal and Tottenham aren't great teams. Neither both of them are a little bit not bad, but the European football is not great outside of the English sides at the moment. Rangers in the Europa League semi-final, for Christ's sake.
But Rangers have put in some colossal performances at Ibrox this year. But anyway, right. West Ham 1, Arsenal 2. Right, fortunately, this game has fallen to Josh, which I'm fortunate about. But I've got to have my say first. I'll get onto the VAR and all that in a second, but that's not ultimately why we lost this game. It's because we didn't have Craig Dawson as our centre back. That's the sole reason why we lost that game. Because I can guarantee that at least one of those set piece goals does not get conceded by West Ham if Craig Dawson's there. For some reason, we had Lanzini marking holding for the first goal. That wouldn't have happened if Craig Dawson was there. He would have stood there and cleared it. Second one, Fabianski, is he at fault? I think it's harsh, to be honest with you. A lot of people have laid blame on Fabianski. I can see it, but that's coming at him at some decent pace, and it's just unlucky how it comes off his knee, and on another day it will come straight back out or it'll miss, but it did go into the side netting. It's unlucky, I think, but it is what it is. But our goal, very well taken by Jared Bowen. Very good. Poor defending from Arsenal again. Tavares out of position. Gabriel, don't know what he's doing there, but I think we deserved a point. We deserved a point last week at Stamford Bridge. We deserved a point today, but it's no good sitting here saying we deserved a point and we're not getting them at the end of the day. Frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating because Arsenal were ordinary today. They really were ordinary. They were nothing special. Odegaard, Martinelli and Saka to an extent were non-existent. I thought they had no real effect on the game. I know Martinelli scored, but apart from that, he had no no effect on the game whatsoever. Two really poor defensive sides coming up against each other, I thought. And, one is Arsenal, because I think they're not great defensively anyway. Ben White was missing, but they're not great defensively. Us, because we had to put a left back in centre back in terms of Creswell. Johnson would have been in there, but Johnson picked up an injury and failed a fitness test this morning. But Fredericks, you've got to give him the due, out on that left hand side, played well. Soufal played well. It's just Creswell, which isn't his fault. He isn't a centre back, and there's a reason for that, because he hasn't got the aerial ability to be a centre back like a Zuma. There's levels between them. It's frustrating because we deserved the point. We almost had the better of the chances. I thought the last half an hour it sizzled out into a bit of a ball fest. Arsenal did all of their antics. Declan Rice got incredibly frustrated with it, and frustration is the word. But before I get onto some VAR stuff, Josh, anything you'd like to add?
I've got to be honest, I didn't watch the game, forgot to watch any highlights. I saw Arsenal's first goal, and that was about it. Like you said, I don't really know why Lanzini, who's one of the small players in the pitch, was marking Rob Holding, who's a big, tall centre-back. And yeah, it was a good header, but shouldn't be happening. It would, like you said, it wouldn't have happened if Dawson was there, and it wouldn't even if Dawson wasn't there. Just if any taller West Ham player was there, maybe it might not have happened. But yeah, gotta be honest, didn't watch any else of it. But any else was not aware. But oh well. Yeah, I think didn't see anything else. Gotta be honest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Right. Shaun, anything you'd like to add about it?
Not really, mate. I think you said about the marking and that. I think on paper your team was quite strong, rather than a few makeshifts in defence and what have you. You said about the marking. I think what you probably find is, because it was a bit of a makeshift team. It sounds blunt to say it, but little details like who's marking who's doing this, like real detailed jobs. Because of the week you've had, they probably the managerial team probably didn't have time to go into the fine details. Do you know what I mean? So little details are probably
But it's common sense, Shaun. The littlest man on the pitch shouldn't be marking Holding.
Other than Rice, who's your leader on the field? You said Dawson's a bit of a leader, okay? So he might be the organizer in defence. All you've got to do it's fine. It's what does it take? The free kick might take 10 seconds, okay? The Rice might turn around and say you marking him 7. So do you know what I mean? When you've got such a busy week and you're chucking in a few players that shouldn't really be there, not on there. These fine margins, which can cost you a game, which it clearly did here. The fine details are probably what the likes of Moyes' team haven't had a chance to work on. They might have said it on a board on the wall. I don't know. Was Ben White expected to play because he's marking Holding? You say, didn't you? Do you know what I mean? When they were doing the tactics briefly before the game or this morning, they might not even expected him to play. So as soon as you take one player out, put one in, it's just confusion. And when you haven't got one of your leaders there on holding the line, do you know what I mean? It is at this level of sport anyway. It is fine margins. You win and lose games anyway. All you've got to do is look the wrong way for a split second, and your marker's gone. So it's annoying, but it's probably down to that. Really, if they didn't have that game on Thursday, then they've got a whole week to build up to this game. So then they will be doing the fine things and the little details. And
I'll tell you what though, if this game wouldn't have been sandwiched in between Frankfurt, we would have beat them easily today. Easy.
They'll probably get fourth, but they're not great. They're not a great side by a long stretch. They're not really, but they are. They're fourth. No. So
just to show you the hatred towards Arsenal today, there's even people put on West Ham Twitter today saying, who do you hate more, Spurs or Arsenal, after that today? Because everybody's just got so frustrated about A, the Ramsdale thing, B, the Holding arm in the build up to the second goal.
I'll tell you why a lot of people are stuck. I know Chelsea played them the other day, and a few Chelsea fans are getting not liking Arsenal. I think a lot of it's to do with Arteta sort of adopting this Spanish way, which a lot of people see as a bit of a cheating way.
Yeah.
You watch a bit of La Liga and everyone's chucking herself down, rolling it. It's all the dark arts a little bit. I think Chelsea were getting fed up with it the other week. I think you're probably you've mentioned it here. I think Poundland Pep has brought a bit of He brought that into the Arsenal team. That's what it is.
The
And
guy that laid the cones out
yeah,
for Pep
that's
Guardiola.
what it is. He's. I don't want to say typical Spanish because people get told off for that sort of thing, saying that nowadays. But you know where I'm coming from. He's bringing in a side of his tactics, which will annoy fans. It just will, and that's what it
Like
is.
very much like a Diego Simeone. I know he's Argentinian, but it's with Atletico Madrid the way they've played it. But Gary says nice to see Zuma fitter than he was on Thursday. Yeah, 100%. He was so much more with it than what he was on Thursday, which meant Rice didn't have to basically stand there and hold his hand like he did on Thursday, which was better. But we've got one game to preview for tomorrow night. Let's have a cheeky prediction, nothing more, nothing less. Josh, Manchester United versus Brentford. Another banana skin for a top 6 side in terms of Brentford?
I don't know. I think Brentford actually might be able to do it. Man United, I didn't watch the game on Thursday against Chelsea, but I heard Roy Keane's having a go at them again after the game. So they mustn't have done too good. I think Brentford might do it. Their confidence is high. I'm gonna go 1-0 Brentford.
Oh, love it. I'm gonna go 1-1. Shaun?
Yeah, you're both probably not far off the mark. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford if they play Ronaldo. I think it's like they've just sort of gone into who cares territory a bit, United. But Ronaldo, I think he'd take it into his own hands just to win it on his own. Do you know what I mean? I just think we're at that point where he's just doing it for himself. The season's done. He don't care. Let's just go and get some goals.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, Ronaldo. Ronaldo versus Brentford. Sorry, Ronaldo versus Brentford. Yeah, hopefully, I think if United beat Brentford, we can say goodbye to finishing in that 6th spot now. Because I'm just having a look, which is so gutted that we didn't at least pick up a point today. There's 3 points in it with level games now. Obviously, when they play tomorrow night, we'll have a game in hand. But if they do win, then with a game in hand, that will be against Norwich next week or whenever it is.
What spot's the Europa Conference?
It's 7th, isn't it?
So that's what you're looking like at the moment, you're saying?
Yeah.
So
But
West Ham 7th.
Go on, Josh.
West Ham 7th.
Yes, we're 7th now. But what somebody said to me today, and I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm just gonna double check, was that if 2 seconds, where is it? There it is. That if Liverpool win the FA Cup, we win the Europa League, and Leicester win the Conference League, apparently Europe goes down to 9th.
No, but if you win the Europa League, don't you get in the Champions League anyway?
Yeah,
So
but
if you win your...
but that is an uphill challenge for us now. Obviously, being
Yeah.
2-1 down, we still can do it. We still can get to the final, but it's going to be difficult because I think if Liverpool win I don't know, but there's still opportunities left.
Yeah.
I think, but
yeah, that comment's probably right because gone are the days where you used to have an underdog in the final. Do you know what I mean? Now it's all the big boys against each other, so
yeah.
They've already qualified for Europe anyway. But, yeah, that's probably right. But let's see what happens.
So whatever happens, we might get your Europa League or anything. We'll have to wait and see. But what a riveting weekend of Premier League football it has been, and hopefully we can see Brentford fry Manchester United at Old Trafford on tomorrow and Bank Holiday Monday. But thanks to everybody for watching. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, check out our channel sponsors I'm Carvinson. Click the link in the description down below. Shaun and Josh, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. No worries at all.
We will see you soon, and of course now we build up to that massive game on Thursday night. We'll see you soon, and enjoy your Bank Holiday Monday tomorrow, and we'll see you later. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.